I see you right there. Dragon drinks water. Should I do that again?
I'm filming you.
Dragon drinks from the river.
I'm filming you.
Okay, when do we start?
Right now.
Oh! Yes! Here we go.
Okay.
I'm continuing with the story of Kojo Bediako Brown in Ghana.
From the book.
Excuse me?
From the book.
From the book, of course. I couldn't recite it out of my head.
Well, the book.
I could have, but I don't want to do that.
Okay, the book.
I'm reading from The Snake, 2020.
Yes. All right. If you are lost when you're looking at this video, then you need to look at the prior videos to get up to chapter 16.
Okay, but I'll try to help out as much as I can by giving you a little lead in to each chapter as I go about it, because it's a big book, and if you've been running around doing the same thing we've been doing, which is trying to avoid catching the virus, then you won't have time to just simply sit up and keep up to date with somebody reading a story about a brother in Africa doing what he does. As we know at this point, Kojo is having a very intense kind of relationship with his girlfriend. I mentioned this point for one simple reason. For some reason, I have yet to read a romantic, maybe I've been missing something, but I have yet to read a romantic story about a young man having a relationship with a young woman in Africa. A young African-American man
Yes,
having a relationship with a young African woman in Africa. I don't know why. It's just like when I started writing, I thought it's like inventing the wheel or something.
Well,
you know?
maybe cultural values taught here.
More than cultural values is who has control of the publishing industry.
That's true.
Because I know there's been black men who've written about going to Ghana or Kenya or Johannesburg or wherever, who met some girl, some woman, that they had some relationship, or some man, if that's what their orientation takes them to.
Right. Or
Matter of fact, I think that would be very interesting. I would love to be a gay man, a writer, who went to West Africa, let's say Ghana. I know Ghana a little bit. And wound up falling in love with a gay man in Ghana. As we know, Ghana, the West Coast is not as homophobic as Central Africa, Uganda, and places like that that are horrible.
Right.
But what would happen in their relationship as a result of them having discovered each other under very different, very complicated circumstances, very difficult, complicated circumstances?
You digress.
I digress indeed.
Yes, okay. Chapter 16 of The Snake 2020.
That's my director.
Yeah.
She shrugged eloquently and gave him the palms out, waving motion that spoke volumes. Kojo was paying close attention to the order of things. First we were served water, then corn wine, now beer and soft drinks, and here comes Uncle Henry with a fifth of scotch. They had a memorial celebration for a guy who has a wife who died years ago, and they celebrate things like that. In between times, little cakes, slices of this and that, chunks of dough that he didn't have time to ask Grace the names for. You're welcome. Thank you. They were seated under a broad awning, a privileged place to be with the 50 closest family members. An hour went by, more beers, more scotch, a giant bottle of Beefeaters made an appearance. The men poured the gin down their gullets like water. Kojo grimaced, watching it happen. Grace laughed at his frowns. If I tried to drink gin like that, it would knock me flat on my ass. A collection of young men, all dressed in the latest African-American teenage garb, got up and started doing their version of hip-hop, pop, lock, breaking, and the latest 50 Cent movements. Kojo stared, fascinated by the African adaptation. Yeah, we are one. A memorial service, there was a party, the way it should be, nothing draggy and blue. Remember the good times. Kojo felt high, not so much from the booze, but from the good vibes. He leaned over to Grace. You know, we really burned the candle at both ends. Don't you know? She nodded in agreement. The movie, Hen Loans till closing, a nightcap at Atu's in Osu, music, and a love feast. The scene had become extremely loose. A couple of the older women were doing a sedate version of something that resembled the Hoochie Coochie or the Atomic Dog. No tribal music today. I wonder why. Guess that would put another vibe on things. Conversations ebbed and flowed. People moved from one place to another. All of the evidence pointed to a sign that said, good times. Hours later, after the water, the corn wine, the beer and scotch, with munches in between, Kojo and Grace made their exit with a scattershot round of handshakes and goodbyes. Grace, you must bring your young man again. I will, Uncle, I will. But we must go now. Bye-bye. Have another drink before you leave. They had to pull themselves away from the expressions of goodwill. One last drink. A final round of handshakes. Once outside the large metal gate, Kojo took a deep breath and started walking down the rutted road, holding Grace's arm. Now that's what I call a party. A memorial service, huh? Yes, a memorial service. You got that right. You felt satiated, full of everything. I feel like I've been everywhere and done everything. What else is there to do? Kojo? Huh. I really enjoyed having you here. They flagged the taxi and headed for home, both of them looking forward to some mellow music and a late afternoon nap. Sunday morning, he felt her empty space next to him. Oh no, don't tell me she's going to a funeral or something. A few minutes later, he heard her struggling back into the apartment. Hey, what's going on? He slipped out of bed and draped the sheet around himself. Grace was playing a VCR on top of a television set. She caught sight of him peeking around the corner at her. Good morning, sleepyhead. Come, help me put this machine together. What you got there? I borrowed my girlfriend's VCR. She won't be in today. I thought it would be nice to have a quiet Sunday watching films with no blue lines and only the two of us talking. He hugged her and kissed her. Grace, you too much, you know that? It took him a minute to attach the VCR to the television. That is the way it's done.
Yes, that's the way it's done.
Okay, what's next? We'll have to go over film. There's a video shop in Roman Ridge where they have foreign films. Be with you as soon as I brush my teeth. He prowled the aisles, finding it ironic he would be looking at American titles in the foreign film section.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm in Ghana.
Yes.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Jack Nicholson played his ass off in that one. Him and Nurse Ratched, Louise Fletcher. The Rose Tattoo, Burt Lancaster and all his teeth. Nah. The Day the Earth Stood Still. Michael Rennie is the man from outer space, the creature who made the Earth stop trying to kill itself. A Fine Madness. Sean Connery as Samson Shillito, the crazed poet, and Joan Woodard as his intellectually inclined waitress woman. The Lion in Winter. Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn chewing up the scenery.
Yes.
Lolita.
Uh-oh.
James Mason playing himself. Peter Sellers playing everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Strangelove. Peter Sellers really playing somebody else. I don't ever know who Peter Sellers is sometimes. On the waterfront. Brando before he got fat. Yeah, he could have been a contender. Streetcar Named Desire. Tennessee Williams probably wrote this as an African-American play in the back of his old thick southern line. Anyway. Bonjour Tristesse. That was an interesting moment. The little French girl writer, what was her name? Francois Salena, came up with a kind of rich romantic whimsy. Goodfellas. Robert De Niro and the Mafia.
Oh.
How did they manage to get away with making so many movies about themselves? Coming to America. Eddie Murphy showing about as much consciousness as a box of rocks. Why would you have to leave all of the beautiful women in Africa to go find one in America? Hollywood Shuffle. More power to you, Robert Thompson. Once they saw where your head was, they tried to bury you. But you wouldn't let them do it. She's got to have it. Well, I'll be damned. Spike Lee's maiden voyage. Except for Malcolm X and Mo Better Blues, I have philosophical problems with the brother. I can't believe that three bona fide brothers would knowingly share the same woman. She's got to have it. School Days. Yeah, it did, but such an outmoded piece of nonsense. The Wannabes and the Blacks or something like that. Do we need that? Do the right thing.
Oh my.
Seems like Italians were the only ones doing the right thing in that one. Jungle Fever. Please. What a waste of talent. How can you make me believe that a Bensonhurst Italian Catholic girl with a racist father and two racist brothers would screw Wesley Snipes on a drawing board in an office? That one was to stir up the white blood, crossover time. Kojo, you find anything you like? I'm coming. Mimba. Donna Flora, the two husbands.
Ah, yes, get that one, get that one.
Sonia Braga, Brazil, do Brazil. Brazil, do el Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Do el Brazil, 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 Brazil. Fichum tum tum, michum tum, chitum tum tum, chitum tum, chitum tum tum, chitum tum. Brazil, Brazil. Seven Beauties.
Ah, get that one too. Yes.
Giancarlo Giannini's Eyes and Nina Wertmüller's Directions. Got it! A Man and a Woman. Give me the soundtrack. A Taste of Honey. That was a moment.
Yes.
Yeah. Darling. Julie Christie and freaky old Lawrence Harvey tearing at each other. India. Distant Thunder.
Ooh.
The Caste Starvation Revolution Nightmare. Worth seeing again. Rand. Chushingura. Realm of the Senses. Wow. I wonder if they know what they have here. Oshima freaked out on this one. I wouldn't want to check this out with Grace. We'd wear ourselves out talking about it. Sugarcane Alley. Nice touch. A Taste of Martinique. Bergman. Swedish Angst. Wild Strawberries. The Virgin Spring. Cries and Whispers. Spain. Carlos Suara. Carmen. Blood Wedding. Gypsy Passion. Koju, I don't want to rush you or anything, but we've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm coming. I just need one more. Oh, and one more. Here, Black Girl.
Okay.
From Senegal.
Oh.
His name is Simbane's Beautiful Thing. Let's go. I got all the goodies. They decided to do it proper, to use Grace's term. I'll collect your fare at the ticket window. You'll go into the darkened theater. There you'll find small sandwiches and other snacks, a cold beer or a glass of scotch if you choose, and a willing female at your side when you take your seat. That sounds quite proper.
It really does.
He decided to start him off with the two heavies, Black Girl and Distant
Oh,
Thunder,
that is heavy.
and gradually lighten the mix by going from 7 beauties to Donna Floor and her 2 husbands. They sprawled on the floor, their backs cushioned by pillows. Grace's back smorgasbord off to one side. Kojo decided to sip scotch rather than drink beer. I don't want to have to pee at the wrong time. We can always place it on hold. Never. Never. A fine film should never be put on hold.
There you go.
Black Girl put Grace on the verge of tears.
I bet.
How could they treat that poor girl so badly?
That was sad.
That's the colonial mentality. They thought they were treating her quite well. The bastards. Now, Grace. Distant Thunder. The classic Indian story of caste starvation and the eventual revolution that forces changes to occur. Whenever I've gotten into a discussion with an Indian, and they've tried to talk to me about the glories of Indian civilization, the Taj Mahal and all that, I'm always forced to remind them that they have the caste system. And how do they respond to that? They usually brush me off with some kind of comment like, well, you wouldn't understand, you're not an Indian. Rubbish. It's a foul system no matter how you look at it.
Thank you.
Ah, thank you. Kojo, you really love films, don't you? Grace, I live, eat, and sleep films. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. Oh, I thought you came back to see me. Like I said, one of the reasons why I'm here. 7 Beauties, the Lena Wertmuller, Giancarlo Giannini film had them thinking, laughing, questioning. Kojo, you really believe that a man would make love to a woman who looked like a pig for a bowl of macaroni and sausage? Like the lady said, the Nazis forced some Greek intellectuals to fuck ducks in order to avoid the firing squad. It's amazing what the human animal will do to survive. He was tempted to take her through a few of the stories he had collected from the Jewish Holocaust, but stopped himself.
Thank you.
What purpose would it serve to use 10 examples of how inhumane people can become under the pressure of the need to survive?
Yeah.
Donna Floor and her 2 husbands supplied the right kind of twilight to a beautiful day. Sonia Braga, the Afro-Brazilian love of color, emotion, music, and drama flooded the film, flowed out from each frame. That was gorgeous, delicious. I will always remember that film. And be sure to remember who you saw it with. Kojo wrapped her in his arms, lured into reminding himself the afternoon by the example he had just watched. No need to have any ghosts here, pal. Interior, Grace, bedroom, morning.
Oh my.
Grace snuggles into Kojo's armpit, looking dreamy, blissed out.
Yes.
Kojo gently strokes the side of her face and back, stares out at a distant point. We hear Miles Davis's Green Dolphin Street in the background. The scene is loving, sweet, but tinged with melancholy. Grace disengages herself, walks from the bedroom, naked, unself-consciously. Kojo stares at her back with obvious appreciation. He listens to her speak on the telephone. He doesn't understand what she's saying. She returns to the bed, to her place in his arms. Kojo. What was that all about? What language was that? Grace. I was speaking to my office manager, Navy. I told him I wouldn't be coming in today. Kojo, smiling. I'll bet they will be happy to see me out of here so they can get some work out of you. Grace smiles and snuggles close to him. He cups her chin in his hand and kisses her gently, and then with more intensity, she responds. Her hand roams from his hairless chest to the navel, and from there to his manhood. They caress each other unhurriedly, enjoying the pleasure that they released in each other. Grace shyly turns her back to Kojo. He is now kissing her. Camera angle over her left shoulder. Fade out. So what do you have to do? Well, basically nothing. My bags are packed except for a few things. I'm sure they'll be amazed at the hotel to see me. They would probably want to know if there are others coming, like yourself, people who rent rooms that they don't sleep in. They sat on the floor, half lotus, sipping scotch. I'll have to go on the wagon when I get back and double up on my capoeira too, but for right now, hey, to hell with everything. He stared at Grace sitting across from him, something white and gauzy, showing the succulent outline of her breast, the curve of her thighs. Ah, Grace, what a wonderful, beautiful surprise you've been. What a hell of a turnabout. I never would have dreamed that you would become what you are. I'll give you 100 cedars for your thoughts. I'll give them to you for nothing. Can you stand to hear what I have to say, what I've been thinking? Honestly, I asked, remember? Kojo took a long sip of his drink, channeling his thoughts. I was just thinking of what a gorgeous woman you are in every way, inside and out. What a fool I am to be leaving you. Grace sipped her drink and tried not to stare into Kojo's face. I was thinking of how many days and nights I'm going to be thinking and dreaming of all the love we've made, the sweet times we've shared. I was thinking of how right my decision is to go back to America to do what I have to do. I know this may sound like a contradiction, but bear with me. I know it's a mistake to be leaving you, but it's the right thing to do. You have some things to do here, and I have some things to do there. I couldn't stay here and do what I have to do, and you couldn't go there and do what you have to do. I was thinking of the letters we'll exchange. I know that I'll receive one that tells me you met somebody. I'm already prepared to deal with that. Sometimes in the very best films we'll have what is called a moment. That moment will almost be incandescent. Are you getting me? She nodded sadly. We've had many moments for the first time, and definitely from this time. Nothing, nor anyone can take that away from us. I was thinking that I always love what we've shared. And so will I, Kojo, so will I. The desk clerk at the Ghana Garden Hotel blinked with surprise to see Kojo strolled into the lobby with a woman, a very pretty woman. Good evening, sir. Good evening. I'll be checking out shortly. Please prepare my bill. I will do it. Number 206, a glorified storage locker. He clicked on the overhead fan and made a quick work of stuffing his shoes, socks, and other stray items into his suitcase. There, I'm all set. Grace laughed. Now that's what I call serious packing. I like to keep things in perspective. What sense does it make to spend hours packing when I'm going to dump it all out the minute I land? Come over here and sit beside me. They sat side by side on the battered bed and laid back to stare at the fan. I wonder if the fan is symbolic. I don't think so. I'll be flying in a jet, no propellers anywhere. No, I wasn't thinking about your journey. I was thinking of how the fan whirls the air around, of how it never strikes the same air twice. No, I thought about it that way. A few moments later, as though mutual telepathy had informed them, they began a wordless ballet of taking each other's clothes off. Kojo, I may never see you again. The tears started simultaneously, making their kisses salty, turned their love-making into a bittersweet moment. Afterwards, holding each other, they were silent for long moments. You know, it makes me think of a ceremony I went to in San Francisco. Is what you would call usual here. In the U.S. we call it the religion, or Santeria, or sometimes simply Yoruba. During the course of the ceremony, one of the priests who had been mounted by Oshun began to cry. The sight of this woman weeping with her eyes closed as tight as fists, I'll never forget. Later, when I asked the senior priest why Oshun, the deity, was crying, he said, I think she was so hurt by the ugliness of the slave trade, the brutality of it, that she sheds cosmic tears, tears that come from behind and beyond. Sipping from the river. I felt some of that kind of feeling with you a little while ago. I didn't want to cry. I was determined not to cry, but something pushed it out. I know, I understand. We have a proverb. Tears are not needed at the funeral. Are you getting me? Yeah, baby, I get you. He woke up from a small sexual catnap, taking quick note of the fact that it was twilight and that Grace was bopping. Gotta watch that body, huh? Gotta watch that body. He gave her a quick peck on the lips, passed him into the bathroom. Yeah, I better do this. Your crotch can get kind of raunchy sitting for 14 hours, or is it 16? Shower, dressed. They stood in the center of the room holding each other. Grace, he whispered, there's another proverb. It says, we should be strong until our dying day. Because we have no idea what is going to kill us. You get me?
Yeah.
She nodded numbly and tried to smile. The airport was as chaotic as he remembered it to be. Okay, that's done. Baggage checked in, at least 45 minutes to drink and be merry. They made their upstream through arrivals and departures to the airport lounge. Double Johnny Walker's here. Yes, sir. They stared at each other over their drinks, so much to be said, no way to say it. Grace, I want it to be good between us. I want to fly away from here with the best vibes in the world happening. You won't get an argument from me. Let's write each other once a month. Agreed. And let's be brutally honest with each other. Agreed. I can't say when I'll be back, like the day and month, but I know that I will be coming back. What I'm trying to say, Kojo, I understand. I'm not going to put myself on a shelf and wait for you or anything like that. If I had nothing but the memory we've shared, I'd be a happy woman for a long time. Grace, you make me feel blessed. They held each other for 5 minutes after the announcement had been made to board Flight J514 for Los Angeles, North America, USA. Kojo, it's been good. You get me? It's been good. He kissed her one last time and stumbled away. Afraid to look back, he wanted to carry a perfect memory away. In mid-Atlantic, he could feel another kind of energy begin to flow through him. The party's over. It's time to refocus, pull my act together.
Yes.
Would you care for a cocktail, sir? You have orange juice? It won't be a problem to pull my crew together. They all know me and I know them. That crazy Filipino tired Japanese woman who has memorized everybody's bad habits and telephone numbers. Doma Nagata. I'll get her to set up my office. Everything goes more smoothly when you got the right person running your office. DJ Ross, my cameraman. Hope they haven't dragged him off to that Tibet or somewhere to shoot that Hollywood crap that he hates. Lights. Philip Charles, a lighting magician. He thought back to a film they had worked on where Charles had lit the inside of a barrel so cleverly that it seemed natural for a person to be able to see inside of a dark barrel. Sid Burns for the sound. He has ears like a bat, but knows how to edit like nobody else. I'll need assistant directors, Ed Burris and Mac Weaver. I'll go for PR with Jackie F. Muhammad and use Michael Ross for my stills. Akuzwa Ferguson, writer. He sat up straighter in his seat. Akuzwa can write her ass off. Where's my head been? Akusa can write her ass off.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Duh.
Duh. The thought of the woman cancel out the grocery list he was mentally putting together. Akusa.
Yes, his future wife.
He slipped into the twilight sleep that always happened to him during long plane trips. What's the matter with you, man? Are you out of your mind? Have you forgotten the process you have to go through to get money to do a film? What do you think is going to happen when you get back? You think somebody's going to stuff a few mil in your pocket and say, get busy?
Yes.
He tiptoed up to the thought timidly. If I do what Asiafo told me to do, everything will be all right. He wanted to laugh at himself for believing such a thing could happen, but he couldn't find the humor in it. The drone of the airplane narcotized him into a numb state. This is going to be a hell of a weight to walk around with. I hadn't thought seriously about getting married until I was 30 at least. What would I think if I told her I want to marry her as a part of a deal, an agreement that I made with a half-naked man in the forest?
That wouldn't work. Bad idea.
No, I can't tell her that.
No.
I'll never be able to tell her that, or anyone else. You tried to focus on Akusawa and his relationship with her, but Grace kept blotting out the idea. Don't worry, there's time. Don't worry, there's time. There's not a lot of time, but there is time. He told himself not to worry, but he worried anyway. Worry, brother. Let's see, it's July now. I have 2 months to get it together. The in-flight movie helped ease him away from his worries. Under Milk Wood, the Dylan Thomas epic. The English really know how to do that thing. He put the earphones on and allowed the mellifluous flow of Peter O'Toole's English and the lush technology of lighting a Welsh town to lull him back into his own world, the world of film. Days and nights after the movie seemed to pass, he lost track of the snacks, of the neatly arranged meals on the plastic trays, the number of times he fell asleep. And finally, when he felt he was about to scream, a suave female voice announced, "We are preparing to land at Los Angeles International Airport. Please fasten your seatbelt, please." Yeah, there it is. He found real pleasure coming into Los Angeles night. He often fantasized he was landing in a horizontal Christmas tree. So many lights. They could use the lights from a couple of blocks in Inglewood to light up the city of Accra. The daytime was a different story. In the daytime, you could see that sulfur killer haze that they call smog, the open-air crematorium. Well, I'm back. It's time to get my stuff in gear and start running for the goal. He took advantage of the argument between the irate airport cop and a motorist who had lingered too long in the no parking zone to study Akuzawa Ferguson. Tallish, but not really tall, about 5'6" or so, but it's the way she carries herself. A designer body, not the natural fullness of comfort or grace, but something else, an athlete's body that called out, "I am a woman, full up front and ample behind." A couple of shades lighter than Grace, a higher set of cheekbones and small cat-like eyes. Wonder which tribe her people came from. And I'm ending it right there on page.
Is that going to 17? We finished 16?
I finished 16, and I will be going into 17 when we do start it next, because there it is.
Why, thank you very much.
I thank you very much because you've added some very interesting exclamations. At some point I thought I was on the right track.
You are in the right track.
When you gave me that,
I like the movies he picked, the videos that he picked to watch.
That's what the guy's about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know, movie. He's all about
films.
Films.
Yes, yes.
What else is there but film?
I know.
Life is film. Life is movies. We're in a movie right now.
Yes.
You're not gonna tell me. Look,
Yes.
you got a madman in the White House who's getting ready to give, in a few minutes, getting ready to give some absurd speech about how wonderful things are in the country, with 170-some thousand people dead,
Well,
5 million affected by the whole thing. The economy is down to zero. People are being kicked out of their places. Oh, sorry.
calm yourself. No, there are 2 RNC conventions. 2 RNC conventions. 2. But I digress. Your books can be purchased on Amazon.
Don't get off this track, baby.
Yes.
Don't get off this track.
Focus. www.odiehawkins.com is your website. Again, your books can be purchased on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or person's local bookstore. Just go in and say, I want a book by Odie Hawkins. They can pull it up and you can purchase it. If you like these moments in time with Odie and Zola, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we look forward to seeing you again.
And if you happen to want to have the sip from an ever-flowing river, get a cup like this.
Budapest, huh? All right. Thank you, Captain.
I can't tell you where to find it, Alfred. But since you make your own sangria, you'll know what this is all about.
Yes, Alfred, and also to Valentina Martinez, okay, all you guys out there watching and enjoying the show as much as I am. All right, see you next time.
You better believe it.
He is looking at you.